Hi, welcome to this channeling and reading. Um, I'm recording this at the end of February. We're a week out from the great Saturn conjunction that we have all been raving on about and feeling. So we're in the tunnel. We're also inside an eclipse tunnel with my not being sure when the next one is. I actually believe that it's on the 3rd or around the 3rd or the 4th. But anyway, everything's feeling crazy, and moving into March, it's not going to feel any less crazy. And March 2026, it's happening. This is actually the month that we've all been anticipating for years, that a lot of readers and astronomers the likes have been anticipating. So it's going to be very, very interesting collectively. The messaging that I wanted to open this reading with was along the lines of encouraging surrendering to the fear, the senses of uncertainty, discomfort. There might be a lot of that for all of us collectively. On some level, we are deeply uncomfortable. I'm also feeling that this discomfort is largely rooted in something that can be transformed into something fun. So I'm not talking about if you're going through a deep sense of grief, which also feels very collective. That death wave that happens feels like that's happening again. The death wave being what I would describe as almost like a sense of judgment day for certain souls. It's how I look at it. I know death happens for people, but like these days it's been looking a lot like the deaths that happen are very poetic. I don't know how else to put that. They're meaningful, and they do bring an end to them, like the end of the matriarch of a family, or the end of a patriarch of a family, or the end of the life ending of an individual in the family who was a very important like middle point for other members of the family, so that it changes a lot. Death changes everything. But these deaths that happen in these waves, these death waves, they change a lot. They're the kind of happenings that where you don't forget the date and you don't forget the time, and you will not forget the sensation of finding out the news and all of that stuff. But this is also happening on another part of the spectrum of enjoyment, deep enjoyment. I think a lot of people are coming into moments of bliss and really, really mind-blowing experiences that are so monumental that, again, you're going to remember everything about it. You're going to remember the taste and the feeling and what you were looking at when the magical thing happened and who the magical thing was with, because that's also very prevalent, something that will not leave me alone. There are some magical, magical unions. Talking about it again. Magical unions that are due to happen, that are so magical in the way that they happen. And the magicalness of their happenings is on purpose. It's to give you more to remember, more to enjoy and to feel, it's to upgrade your senses. We are going through a senses upgrade. I had a thought to myself as well that because of that, it links to that, the senses upgrade sensation. All these words. Anyway, senses upgrade sensation, and how the distractions, and I've mentioned this before and we're all talking about it, but there's something about the fabric of that experience that is kind of loosening. I don't know, the threads are becoming more tangible, easy to touch, to look at, to analyze. The experience of distractions and how all of the distractions take you away from that sense of peace within that's like always humming inside of you, you know? And that stream of peace can also, inside that stream are facts and things that you can do and ways that you can go about your life that will bring you the most joy, not just the most money or the most power or whatever the fuck our egos are obsessed with. It's going to bring us the most joy and connect us to our purpose, that hum of truth that is always inside, okay? Put the phone down. Get off the fucking social media. I just heard a video my son was watching of a streamer who was able to admit, and kudos, because that's also important. I'm just going to put a pin in that, being able to admit truths. He was able to admit that he cannot use the toilet anymore without going on TikTok. And that, while it is a very modern experience, is very dangerous, depending on the type of person you are as well, but not very good for people who are very emotionally sensitive, who are easily influenced, who really appreciate pleasing their friends. That's a very specific frequency. If you really love pleasing the people you love, you should stay off social media. And people, Leo placements, Pisces placements, Scorpio, Cancer, Aquarius. Honestly, the only people who are allowed on social media, I think, are Geminis. Something about the Gemini frequency is able to kind of have many tentacles and I don't know. I'm still trying to understand Gemini frequency, actually. But what I'm saying is, if you're sensitive, if you count as a sensitive person, if you can feel the moods and changes of your surroundings and all that empath stuff, stay off social media. Try to take in as little about the news as possible during this time. About global events, try to keep up with as little as possible. Conspiracy theorists, people who previously identified or who have identified as conspiracy theorists, try to keep your discernment about all the shit that's coming online right now. And don't go too deep into those rabbit holes. Now is not the time. And then the pin that I put it in was truth to the self. There is something happening that I'm noticing is a very prevalent and scary pattern that has to do with the energy bubbling up in each of us as individuals, powerful human consciousness. Something about our consciousness is taking a new shape, having new expansive power over our lives and over others' lives if you're not careful about your energy and about, other people's energy. And as such, that expansiveness of consciousness within us is essentially disallowing us from lying anymore. Like, you cannot, and I've said this so many times, you cannot get away with lying anymore. You can't. White lies, unless you can hold the responsibility of now creating a split, you are now the nexus of a split reality. You are the center point of two realities happening at once. Can you handle that energetically? Can you? It's only Gemini placements. And that's why you guys are so crazy, because you can handle existing in parallel universes at once. When you say a lie and your internal knows a truth, you are commanding that lie, behaving essentially as if that lie is true, while your center, your control center, your CPU, has other instructions. You know what I mean? That obviously causes hardware erosion, obviously causes a dissonance. Like, there are so many ways to look at this so you can understand how bad, boo it is to lie. It's very dangerous right now. People's internal truths are not going to hide. The whole business of us being more consciousness and of telepathy increasing and all of that stuff is true because we're becoming more sensitive, but also because other people we are all also becoming more revealing. There's no more hiding that dissonance. There's no more hiding a misalignment in a person. If somebody is really depressed and they really, really, really don't fuck with being themselves or their life or whatever, that's going to show. Or you're going to feel it. That person walks in the room and suddenly the vibe is weird. Suddenly it's quiet. Suddenly people don't know what to say anymore. They're lost for words. And it's something that can happen so subtly, where you're having a conversation, just as an example, having conversation, group conversation, then someone walks in the room and it's quiet suddenly. No one knows why. It just happens to be then that in that moment, people didn't have anything to say. But it also coincided with that person walking in. Then that person becomes the center of the moment. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, coincidences and shit like that, they mean something. No such thing as that. No such thing. If you're watching my work, and obviously if you align with the beliefs and all of that stuff, if this doesn't resonate, please don't watch. All of this leads up to the need to be very, very careful and very strict to do with the whole stay off social media thing. Be very careful, very strict, very exclusive about your energy and your perceptions and about your intention, because that shit's always going to seep out of your skin, out of the pores of your skin. You will not be able to hide. There is nowhere to run, especially regarding your insecurities, the fears and the shadows that you believe about the world and about life. That shit's going to show. Your limiting beliefs that you have held so deeply to yourself that you stopped yourself from achieving the things you want to achieve. There's no more running from that shit anymore. This is also definitely the season to anti-victimhood, anti-shame, anti-guilt, I wish if only I were built like that, or if I had a different story in life, then maybe I'd be in a different position now. Anti that shit. You can make any change you want right now. There are no more excuses. Anti-cringe as well. Anti-judging and being cringe over others, right? Everybody has their fucking backstory, no matter what the fuck they've done. Anti-dichotomy, black and white, okay? Keep thinking about the yin and the yang. It's difficult and it's complicated and it makes what you're looking at very, very hard. Try to let go of the passion about picking a side. If you must pick a side, let it be love, let it be truth. You know what I'm saying? And stand by it against people who will try to shout at you. People who will point aggression at you because you're not picking a side, you're not standing. Just stay integral to who you are as a person. Hold your own individual integrity. That's the only shit that's going to matter from here on into the future. As shit starts to get really fucking murky. That's also what I'm feeling. Things are going to start to get so murky that our normal societal behaviors that used to be easy to carry out, like politics, elections, even like standard human behavior, like we can't judge each other anymore. Try to release judgment as far as you can, because it's not going to help. Yeah, it'll be more helpful to keep an open mind. As long as you're not being violent, as long as you're not supporting violence, keep an open mind. And yeah, I think anything that I'd say now would just keep circling back to either something that I've repeated over and over again in previous readings, something someone else has said, something an astrologer said, something the stars are pointed like. It's all coming so full circle. And there are more layers to the circle. And I hope you're paying attention enough to yourself in your own life to get to know more about the layers of your own circle. And I hope you have absolute faith that this is a journey of learning and of learning about your circles, not about losing, not about hopelessness, not about like no doom and gloom, no doomsday shit, because that stuff is a lie. And we know that now, you know? Keep walking the divine path and remembering God in whatever way that means to you. I'm going to start shuffling now. But I actually think that I want to get some space going. Sorry. Okay, this is fine. I also feel like extending something that I said in previous readings where I mentioned the 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 frivolousness or I want to use the word wistfulness, but I don't know what that means. The lightness of 3D reality. Don't take everything that you see on a 3D level at face value. Trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and really try to let go of the 3D stuff. Really try to let go of it. Allow it to teach you detachment, yeah. This is wonderful. Are you kidding me with this? 6 of Wands, 10 of Cups. That's an amazing, that's come up before. That's good. This is full circle glory. This is what I'm saying. I'm talking about. I love it. I don't even remember what, oh, cool. And the 7 of Pentacles. So this is interesting. It's pointing specifically to something that I think collectively we've been working for. It was tough. And I'm specifically thinking about COVID times, maybe even for some people since 2012, pivotal years, 2012, 2006, 2008, 2013, 2014, 2015, and then COVID. Crazy shit happened in each of those years for each of us that really fucked with our sense of fulfillment, victory, our sense of deserving to win, our sense of feeling connected in life in general, and that sense of like, have you ever seen the way an Aries placement goes after things? And they don't really care about, let me not extend on that. Just paying attention to the way Aries are able to go after things in life. I'm speaking to my Scorpio placements. 8th house Plutonian, 12th house Pisces. Maybe even Cancer. But the water placements that came into this world feeling. And we felt it all, but we've never felt this. It's our time, baby. It's our time. So open your heart to it. Even if you're not connected to it right now as you're watching this reading, declare yourself open to the possibility of feeling fulfilled and victorious in your life over specifically material pursuits. This is also giving a reading for somebody who was stuck in a very long period of material stagnancy. Like you never really frayed too far from a very stagnant middle. Maybe you'd earn a little bit of money here. You were like moneyless in some days, but you're fine. You know, you've always been at this level of just fine. Now is the time to be better than fine. Woohoo! Something about life and about like something I'm feeling that like our joys and our sense of fulfillment were locked away in a sense, or the peak of it was locked away, as if to be like savored, preserved, like wine. Yes, like wine, or like making kimchi, or for, you know, like something about our joy and fulfillment has taken long. It's been distilled, preserved, yes, mixed together, fermented. Our joy's been going through fermentation. And now is the season. Or no, I'm not getting that now is the season, because we have the 3 of Wands beneath the deck. It's more like we have to prepare for that season. But what? So in preparation, I'm getting again the suggestion I made a few videos ago about making vision boards and focusing on like every moment of your day, the thoughts you have, the things you see in your mind, the music you listen to, I don't know, whichever senses you connect to the most, needs to remain on the thought of hope. Okay, manifestation I'm getting is, this is the time for it. Visualization, manifestation through visualization is what I'm specifically receiving. But anyway, keep all of the things that you want in deep regard. Keep it in mind, just consistently. I don't know if maybe I'm reading for somebody who like, no, I'm not getting the likelihood of somebody who's already been doing this. I'm getting that like, I don't know what's been happening before this. Okay, let me rather say that. Don't know what's been happening before this, but if you're watching this, it resonates so far. What can happen from here on out is you visualizing your success because it's coming sooner than you know. Keep asking yourself about the kind of person you want to be when this success arrives. Look around in your life. Are you prepared for it? If you've been wanting an influx of income, an increase in income, start considering why. What have you been wanting to do with the income? Start making plans about what you do with it. Start budgeting, Start visualizing how you would spend your day-to-day or your weekends, whatever free time you have, with the income that you are earning, that you want. Right? Did you hear what I said? With the income that you are earning. Make it a now thing. Make it a present day thing. I know it's very difficult to do the manifestation suggestion of behave or make as if you have it right now. So what I try to do is to filtrate all the things that I can bring right now into my life that can make where I am now and my manifestation similar in frequency. So somebody who would want to become a housewife, for example, would have to make sure that they have adjusted their lifestyle and way of thinking as if they were a housewife. So you ask yourself, what kind of person would I be if I were a housewife? What thoughts would I have? How would I feel? How would I react to certain situations? How would I walk? What food would I eat? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But it is giving more preparation. This is something long coming. This is something that your soul, God, the universe, this is something that is known that you've always wanted. You've always wanted this. You've always wanted this thing. And it looks like it's coming in the sense of a feeling. It's coming in the sense of a feeling. Now I'm getting somebody who's getting waves of feeling fulfilled, feeling successful, feeling like they've already succeeded, but they're still in this period of waiting so that the feelings don't make sense. That's God, babe. That's God. That's your soul. That is the stream of calm and truth that I was saying we're all connected to. It's always possible to feel this way regardless of what's happening in your life. This is unequivocally true. It's always been about the way that you feel. And with this card, I'm seeing it's also been about the way that you see yourself. It seems like that also could use some adjustment, where you're encouraged to see yourself as successful regardless of whether or not you've achieved your successes by virtue of your who you are, your passions. Maybe sit and appreciate yourself for that. The fact that you are such an interesting person. That was random. And specific, probably. Beneath the Three of Wands, we have the Four of Wands and the Page of Wands. I'm getting that other usual rhetoric that as tarot readers love to say about how you're being prepared. You should prepare, but you are being prepared to be a good shape for your manifestations. Maybe take those feelings as well as a signal that this thing that you want is very, very close by. I'm also receiving the possibility that you are in it, that you are literally inside the successes that you want, but, or it's happening around you. Yes, okay. I'm getting a very slow build towards a very big and beautiful manifestation. Yeah, right. Love it. I also love how he's holding a wand in this. And I love the correlation in these two images, You waiting, you having achieved the success. Continue to sit it out. Continue to be patient. And another frequency that I remember picking up, that I remember reading very frequently of, Appreciate the time that you are in now. Appreciate where your life is right now. Because once these joys and things actually come manifest in your life, it's going to change your life so much that some sense of you will feel a little uprooted, so to speak. You know, the feeling of being in your life and being and the way your life is being one way, you know? Then things change so drastically and so quickly that like it kind of feels like you're floating in midair, literally, because what you were before, whatever was pre-change, is literally never going to happen again. You will never be that person. That's also what I'm receiving specifically, is that you are changing so drastically that who you were is never, ever, ever going to revisit. You will never be who you were ever again. That's crazy, no? That's like you're dying, basically, you know? So yeah, everything is being uprooted, lots of gaps in your life, lots of gaps with maybe understanding what the future looks like and all of that stuff, that those gaps are being filled. And you can trust that they are being filled by you, you know, that sense of you and that sense of you, that sense of you that came with your truth as you were born into this realm. I believe everybody comes with their true signature or whatever, linking closely to the fact that we each have unique fingerprints. Something about that implies that we all therefore have very unique stories and very unique purposes. And this is all giving a uniting to that sense of purpose. That also again has very close relations to the thing that you've always wanted. There's something you've wanted for a long time, a very, 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 very long time. Either a way of being, a state of being, a way of thinking, is kind of like power, control. I'm getting that possibly I may be reading for somebody who's genuinely, and I don't think this is a bad thing, Scorpio, 8th house Plutonian, somebody who genuinely wanted to like be able to have influence over others and have power over others, you know, and have people listen to you and hear you out and think that you're right and believe the things you say and, you know, be influential. Be influential to others. This could also be an Aquarius wounding, 12th house of people feeling unseen. Maybe you've always wanted to be seen and heard and understood. This is giving the achievement of that. With the Four of Wands, it all comes down to a sense of feeling safe and at home. That's what I'm feeling here. Yeah, with my sensitive angels. The sensitive ones who I'd suggested must get off social media. We are coming into a sense of feeling at home. Finally at peace with ourselves, you know? Because the lack of peace, bro. Shout out to your patience and your willingness to stay connected to the inner vision. Stay dedicated to the inner vision and know that it's there. Loving the different stances here. Materially, it's looking, you know, pensive, still, quiet. What's going on? Spiritually, which is what the Wands deck represents, you are looking up, you are hopeful, you are holding this stuff in a different way. I think this is what's happening externally, and this is what's happening internally. And this is what's due to happen internally. And so, what is coming externally, is going to finally match, you know? You did the work within. So out on the outside, things are going to finally start reflecting. Well, on the inside, actually, this feels like a big inside job. This just feels like somebody coming to a sense of more happiness and feelings of peace and fulfillment internally. So that it doesn't matter what's happening outside. It doesn't matter that things are so stagnant and still and maybe a little bit confusing and quiet. Getting a lot of quietness on the physical, on the 3D realm for somebody watching this. Peace. You've achieved real peace. Absolutely. Take that as a signal. Take that as something. If you answer to the stagnancy of your life and you let it ride, you just ride it out, and you're still riding it out possibly, congratulate yourself, because you are achieving a sense of true peace and a sense of knowing how to do things from a connection within and from being truly intentional about the choices you make, not just doing things because of fear, survival, internal unhealed projections, whatever. I'm going to close this reading now, pulling from the Intuitive Tarot. Interesting. Yes, exactly. Wow. We have the Six of Swords as the main energy. Then we have the Four of Discs that fell out with it, and the Eight of Cups beneath the deck. This is what we are finally, these sensations here, what we are finally leaving behind. Those years that I'd mentioned earlier brought a lot of this stuff, a lot of living in fear, a lot of money problems, being a very central theme for a lot of us, especially millennials, a lot of millennial kids with their families being deeply affected and traumatized by money problems. And lots of loss, my fucking God. So much grief. Oh, my word. Oh, overwhelming amounts of grief. We have travel that allows a release from cares and worries. While challenges still lie ahead of you, the main difficulties have been overcome. Exactly. The ability to give care to yourself in the vulnerable areas of your psyche, the beginning of something unknown, and health concerns. The health concerns one feels important because of the themes of Virgo. We've got a lot of digestive situations going on and a lot of nervous system situations happening. Please look after yourself in that regard. And please also tend to your cardiovascular system, get the exercising in. Make sure you do things that get your blood pumping. I think something about that can help move the energy along in general. The words that stand out to me the most are, while challenges still lie ahead of you, the main difficulties have been overcome. Yeah. The ability to give care to yourself in the vulnerable areas of your psyche, the beginning of something unknown. The main difficulties have been overcome. That feels very important. You can breathe. You can relax. You can stop thinking that things are going to go wrong. You can stop saving up for some emergency event. Stop going into newness thinking about how much it's going to hurt when you lose it. Stop dating and getting into relationships already predicting how you're going to break up with them. Stop making decisions and denying yourself opportunities to enjoy yourself, travel, go fucking get a drink, eat a good meal, all of that shit, because you're trying to save and be money savvy. Please stop doing that. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy. I hope that helped. And if anything, I really hope that it helped you understand that you are here to enjoy your life. I think it's really important that we all prioritize that above all else. I hope that you can access that within you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next live stream.